Thank you very much. It's great to be here. My name is David Mitchell. I'm from the UK. I'm a deputy head teacher, translated is a vice principal, I think you call them, from an elementary school in the UK. And I'm here basically to talk to you about blogging and how we've used blogging in schools, not only in my school but across the world, really. We're a very small school in Bolton, which is in Manchester, the United Kingdom. But we're probably one of the biggest schools globally when it comes to blogging. And what I don't think I'm the first person to stand on this stage and talk about blogging, but I think I may well be the first person to stand on this stage to talk to you about blogging with the impact and the proven impact that we've got. Just a bit of background, really. If you don't know what blogging is basically a web platform that allows you to have a two-way communication. Okay? Now, teachers are amazing people, amazing creative people, because you could give a teacher a pile of dirt and they will make this something magical and mysterious for their pupils that will last 3 or 4 weeks. Now, you try and do that with your children at home, just one of them. It's hard, okay? But teachers are amazing people. And if you give a blog to a teacher, one of these creative teachers, you will see them mold it and develop it into something brilliant. Now, to prove some of the impact we've had with blogging is that in the UK we have government tests that happen at the age of 11 that all the children sit. They're called SATs. You call them SATs, don't you? They're a bit more advanced than we are. We can't spell it. We just call them SATs. And the children sit them, and basically that gives you, as a school and the parents and the community, that tells you how many children are below the level they should be, how many children are at the level they should be, and how many children are above the level at a higher, a more able level. And before we started blogging, our more able level was at 9%. Usually it's about 20 to 30% you should be aiming for. We were at 9% of this higher ability group in writing. And after the first year of blogging with the children, this jumped and shot up to 60%. And that is unheard. That kind of jump is unheard of. Okay, one of the biggest increases in the country in writing. And so, even more impressive, really, that year our school leavers made, on average, per child, 2 years' progress in just that 1 year with their writing. And just as impressive as that, the next year that was repeated. The children made 2 years' progress in 1 year. And so we know that blogging works in the hands of the right teachers. But if you know anything about blogging, a blog without an audience doesn't work. And I asked on Twitter a couple of days ago for people to finish this sentence. A blog without an audience is what? And I had some lovely responses. We've got, a blog without an audience is like a car without an engine. A blog without an audience is like a library with no books. A blog without an audience is like a kiss without another pair of lips. And I like this one best. A blog without an audience is like Beyoncé without a ring. I thought that was quite good. And a school without children, a book without words. So you get the understanding here that it's vital that the children have an audience. And that's the key. When the children have this audience, they really respond and work harder than they do for the children. And when I asked my children, what is it about this audience that you do things for them that you won't do for me? And after a short pause, somebody said, well, I'll tell you, it's because you're not real, Mr. Mitchell. I said, what do you mean I'm not real? He said, well, you're paid to help us. All these people around the world who are commenting on our work, they're not paid to help us. And I thought that was really interesting. And so with that in mind, we needed to get more children blogging, more teachers blogging. And at my estimations in the UK, there's about 96, 97% of teachers and pupils not blogging. It's not for everybody, but there need to be more than that. And so when I was at a school in the northwest of England, in Blackpool, they were doing some amazing things with blogging, but they weren't getting the audience. And so I contacted a few other blogging teachers that I knew and asked if they would like to send their children to this school blog. And they did. There were 4 schools in total. And I came up with the term quad. Nearly rhymes with blog, okay? Sounds better in an American accent, by the way, QuadBlogging. Sounds a lot better. But where I am, QuadBlogging. It's a bit, you know. And so the way it worked was that out of 4 schools, each week, one school would be the focus school, and the other 3 schools would come and comment on their blogs. And the next week, in week 2, another school would be the focus school, and again, they would come and they would comment on their blogs. And over 4 weeks, every school got their chance in the limelight. And the cycle would be repeated, because the beauty about this was the children knew what was coming. They knew an audience was about to descend on their work. And after throwing this on Twitter, after 7 days, 30 schools wanted in. They said, can we do this? So I organised them into quads. However, these are the statistics that are mind-blowing, really. Since September 2011, when I launched it officially with its own dedicated site, 70,000 pupils in 2,000 classes in 35 countries around the world have been involved with quad blogging, just from that one simple little idea. And it's growing week by week. Okay, there's a link up there with information about that. Okay, so we've proved, okay, I'm sending messages here, we have proved that blogging works with children. Okay, we've got the statistics to prove that. We've proved that a blog needs an audience. But there's something missing here, because we've connected students, teachers, and schools to students, teachers, and schools. Okay, we've done that very, very well. But there's one thing missing here. The real world is missing, okay, for our children, the future of our workforce. And so that's where I've been working with a number of people in the UK, Pete Yeomans, Julia Skinner, Oliver Quinlan, to develop something called the Multitude. And this is going to link businesses into the work children are doing online. And we're not asking for anything, any money. We're asking for 5 or 10 minutes of people's time to come and, the Multitude will organise it. We will fix you up with the blogs that you'll be attached to. But every week, come and comment once or twice on a week to some designated blogs and make some children's lives come to life, really, because they love it. They love nothing more than showing off their work through their blogs to the world. And if I go back to, and the link is there, by the way, themultitude.net. Have a look. If you are involved in a business, have a look. It's not going to cost you anything physically, okay, in terms of money. It's just a token gesture, so do take a look at that. But when we're looking at blogging and quad blogging, I just want to read you a quote from a school. Now, there are quotes on there, loads of them. I just picked one from a teacher that's been using quad blogging. It starts with, wow, quad blogging has been awesome. An intentional response to our writing, which is fantastic for the children to read. It's authentic feedback from other students, and we can't put a price on that. The class have absolutely hung on every single word written by their buddies and have avidly searched through each other's blogs for interesting ideas to compare and contrast to their own. We have truly gone global through this, and their sense of place in the world has really become a reality. Quad blogging rocks. Okay? Now, we don't need to go and convince teachers, but there are so many teachers out there, 97% of them, that just don't know, that aren't aware. So all I'm asking you to do, the people watching, the people here, is if you've got children, okay, at their school, mention quad blogging, mention blogging, okay? If you're involved in a business, just mention the Multitude, see if we can get some links going. We will contact you. There are ways on there you can leave an expression of interest and we can contact you. It's 100% free, but it makes a real difference. And I'll leave you with in my final minute, okay? I'm lucky enough to take some children around the UK to present about blogging. And last year, I was really lucky. I managed to take 6 children to the biggest educational ICT show in the world. It's called the BET Show in London. And they stood on a stage similar to this, okay? And there must have been 200-300 people there. And I remember 3 children that stood there, 11-year-olds these are, 10 and 11-year-olds, so they're only this big. One of them, called Binyamin, he said, blogging's changed my life. That was his opening, okay? And he went on to say how it really inspired him. The second child, Thomas, said, he stood here, bit of a tearaway was Thomas, bit of a naughty lad. He said, blogging's taken me from the detention room every single lunchtime, which it had, okay, to standing here on the stage speaking to you at the biggest educational ICT show in the world. He was only this big. And everyone just stood up and started clapping. It was fantastic. And then John, another boy who was only this big, said, well, blogging's changed the relationship between me and my dad. A really nice way that he'd been able to sit with his dad and talk about something else other than football. And I'll remember things like that for the rest of my life. Okay? My time is up. Okay? I've got 18 hours to get back to the UK because I've got an English lesson starting in 18 hours. Wow. Okay? So thank you very much for listening. Thank you.